Hey guys, it's Dave. Welcome to the Dadadvice channel. If this is the first time you're watching, welcome. I'm glad you found us. This is a community created to learn and grow together, to teach our children through our experiences. If you know somebody that this video might benefit, we'd love it if you'd not only subscribe to the channel, that does us a huge favor, but also share the video with them, as that's how the community grows and it benefits the world. So with that being said, I wanted to chat about couples journaling. It's something that me and Kristen have done over the past year. This one right here that I have pulled up on the screen is the one that we've utilized over the past year. I wanted to chat about what it is, how it's beneficial, and takeaways from doing couples journaling over the past year. So what is it? Couples journal is very similar to a regular journal. Regular journal usually doesn't have something that you're journaling about, but in a couples journal, it's for you and your spouse. So usually there's 2 pages or 2 columns, and then in essence, it normally gives you something to journal about. So in this one, it will give you different topics where you envision your guys' self in the future. What was your favorite date in the past? It gives you something to talk about, and it's usually some sort of thought-provoking thing. You can also use the journals differently. Me and Kristen used them as you read the question aloud, and then we would go through, she would write or I would write, and the other person would write, and then we'd share what we wrote. There's different ways that you can do that, so different dynamics there. But in essence, it is, a journal to continue building your relationship and marriage. As I said, that the journal that me and Kristen used over the past year was the Couples Love Journal by Lori Ann Davis. Put a link down in the description below. And this one was a little bit unique. It's a once a week journaling experience. I'm sure other ones have every day or whatever, but this is a once in a week thing. Our overview of the takeaway was that there's huge net positive in doing a couples journal. I actually couldn't think of anything that was negative about doing the couples journal, other than it takes a little bit of time, but you can argue that time is well spent, a huge return off of that time. The other big summary that came out of it was that it's just super easy to do, especially with this one being 1 day a week. It wasn't that much of like forcing or feeling like, oh, we have to do this. It wasn't that big of a commitment. So super easy to do for a relationship. Wanted to go into a little bit more in depth of what I actually thought were the benefits and why I would say that it is a huge net positive activity for a marriage. First thing is that it focuses and emphasizes, it places an emphasis on your marriage. We have so much going on, whether it's work, whether it's parenting, whether it's taking kids to sports, and there's always so much mental stuff going on in our brains that sometimes we just forget that, hey, marriage should be up there, maybe tops, maybe number one emphasis in our lives. So this just it puts it in the forefront and gives you kind of an action item that says, hey, we're going to commit to this once a week, and we're going to come together and we're doing something that's building our relationship. That was one big takeaway. We got to learn more about each other, which is always great. You think it when you're married, you know everything about that person. But when you have thought-provoking questions, it is nice to hear something new. And you're like, whoa, I never knew that. So there's times that we learned new things, as well as there was laughter, which was, when we were doing the journaling, sometimes there was laughter about it. I loved that it was not only 1 time a week, which I probably said a few times, but I love that it's dedicated time to your relationship where, I guess you have to plan that. You have kids run around and you're trying to do it with the kids run around. That's another thing. But we made it a dedicated time for just her and me being together. There was not really any distractions. I'll talk about how we actually set it up for us. But I love that it was dedicated time for just her and me to communicate. That was awesome. Lastly, for this one in general for the Couples Journal by Lori and Davis. One of the things that was really awesome is that after it has the thought provoking question and you journal, it has usually another thing that is some sort of action item for the week, which again, it builds your marriage muscle. It gives you new ideas. And whether that would be, hey, hide a note for your spouse sometime during the week, or, it would be try to hide a note sometimes during the week, how much you love them, or send them a text message encouraging something they're trying to do this week. There would just be little action items each week. And the majority of time, I and her did not do them, but just having that extra emphasis of here's an idea to build a deeper connection with your spouse is awesome. And I really enjoyed that about this couples journey, our couples journal. How we set it up to make it successful and surprisingly do it for 52 weeks was we did it Sunday nights when we both got in bed together, and you can adjust, but this worked for us and it worked really well. So Sunday nights when we got in bed, that was our journal day every week. And we did it where, one person writes, another person writes, we share. I mean, you don't necessarily have to do that. You could just read each person's journal, which would be a different experience, which we didn't do, which I actually, and now I'm excited because we actually just ordered a new journal. And in another year, I'll probably have another video to compare them and see which one was better. But that one time a week on Sunday nights, pairing it with something easy. So we always go to bed around the same time. There's not somebody that stays up super late, so it worked for us. But maybe that's coffee time in the morning on one day a week during the But pairing it with something that's super easy was made it easy for us to do. Well, the last thing that I'll share is don't beat yourself up if you miss a week or you forget about it because you're out at a party. And we missed a few weeks. Usually just did an extra one that week. I think when it came down to it, over the 52 weeks, I think we had like 4 or 5 left at the end of the year. So it shows that we missed a few, but we just made them up. Don't beat yourself up if you miss them. I will have a link down to this one in the description. I do think it's a huge plus for anybody that's married to, and it's a huge plus that's relatively easy, and you're not putting a huge commitment with money because the book is in it. I think this is a $15 journal and with massive amounts of time, but just all good stuff about this. So hopefully that helps. Hey guys, I would love it again if you'd subscribe, like the channel, share this with somebody that might need it, and I'll see you next time.